Coxter Groups, Lecture 4, Deletion property. Let us recall the strong exchange property which we discussed on the previous lectures. Let W, S be a Coxeter system. Recall that we denote by T the set of all reflections. These are conjugates to the generators of S. Theorem, which is called strong exchange property, asserts the following. Let A be equal to S1, S2, and so on Sk be an expression for A, not necessarily reduced. All Si's are generators from the set of simple reflections S. If T is a reflection such that the length of T times A is strictly smaller than the length of A, then TA can be obtained from this expression by deleting one letter. So there is I between 1 and k. If we delete I from our expression, the resulting product will give us exactly TA. Now let us look at the following two definitions. So let W, S be a Coxeter system. For an element W, in W we define the set T sub LW as the set of all reflections little t such that the length of TW is strictly smaller than the length of W. And we also define the set TRW as a set of all reflections T such that the length of W times T is strictly smaller than the length of W. In these two notation, the letters L and R represent left and right. Of course, directly from the definitions we see that TR of W is equal to TL of W inverse. This is because the expression for W inverse is the reverse of the expression for W. So for example, if we take an element S, which is a simple reflection from S, then TR of S is equal to TL of S and is equal to S. Here is a proposition which describes how this is connected to the notion of lengths. Proposition: for W, an element in our Coxeter group, we have that the cardinality of TRW is equal to the cardinality of TLW, and this is equal to the length of W. Proof: let us choose a reduced expression for W, S1, S2, and so on, Sk. Then, by the strong exchange property, the set TL of W consists exactly of the elements which we denoted by Ti. So these are elements which are obtained in the following way. We take I between 1 and k, and we write S1 times S2 times and so on times Si, going up, and then we go down. Si minus 1 and so on times S1. Then, by the strong exchange property, the set TL of W consists exactly of these elements. Moreover, we had a corollary to a strong exchange property which says that since we have fixed a reduced expression, all these Ti's are actually distinct. So this gives us that the cardinality of TLW is equal to the length of W, and also of course the fact that the cardinality of TRW is equal to the cardinality of TLW follows from the observation about the lengths and connection with TL, together with the observation that TR of W is the same as TL of W inverse, and of course the lengths of W and the lengths of W inverse are the same. Now we can define a very important notion of a descent set. Let W, S be a Coxeter system, and little w an element in our Coxeter group. Now we define the set D sub L of W, which is the set of all simple reflections S in S, such that the length of SW is strictly smaller than the length of W. Similarly, we define D sub R of W as the set of all simple reflections S, such that the length of WS is strictly smaller than the length of W. So DLW is called the left descent set, and DRW is called the right descent set. And of course, dr of W is the same as dl of W inverse. Again, a small example: if S is a simple reflection, then dr of S is the same as dl of S, and this is equal to S. Here is the connection of these notions to reduced expressions. Proposition: for an element W in W, we have that a simple reflection S belongs to DLW if and only if some reduced expression of W starts with S. Also, a simple reflection S belongs to dr of W if and only if some reduced expression of W ends with S. Proof. Of course, B follows from A using the map which sends W to W inverse. And the if part of A is obvious. If some expression starts with S, then of course multiplying with S on the left reduces the expression. So this S is in the descent set. So for the only if part, let S be an element in the descent set for W, in the left descent set for W. Choose a reduced expression for W, S1, S2, and so on, Sk. Then the length of SW is strictly smaller than the length of W, and hence SW is obtained from our reduced expression for W by deleting some letter, say letter I. By the way, this should be Sk here. So we take our expression and we delete the letter I. It means that the element SW has an expression of length k-1. We don't know whether this expression is reduced. But then the element W is equal to S times SW, so we can take this expression of length k-1 and multiply with S on the left. But then this expression must be reduced because it has length k, and we know that W has length k, and here we have a reduced expression which starts with S. Now we can formulate the deletion property. Theorem: let W, S be a Coxeter system. Let W be an element in W, and assume that we have some expression for W. W is equal to S1, S2, and so on, Sk, where all Si's are simple reflections, but we don't know whether this expression is reduced or not. The assertion: if the length of W is strictly smaller than k, then there exist elements I and j different between 1 and k. Let's assume that I is strictly smaller than j. That W is equal to the element which is obtained from our original expression by deleting Si and Sj. So for example, we know that Ss is equal to the identity because S has order 2. So we have an expression Ss for the identity. If we delete both occurrences, we get the identity. Or another example, if we have a Coxeter group and two simple reflections S and T such that MST is equal to 3, then ST is equal to TS, because ST to the power 3 is equal to the identity, and TS can be obtained from ST by deleting the outer letters S and T. Now let's prove the deletion property. Let us choose I maximal such that the expression Si plus 1, and so on, Sk is not reduced. Of course, such I exists because if we take the last letter, Sk, this is a reduced expression. So we can choose I maximal such that this suffix of our expression is not reduced. Then, if we remove Si, the rest is reduced because of the maximality of I, so Si plus 1 and so on, Sk is reduced, and so the length of this element is equal to k minus I. When we now multiply with Si, the length must be smaller than k minus I plus 1, and so it is at most k minus 1, but we know that the length changes according to the parity. So the length of Si plus 1 and so on, Sk, should be the same parity as an element k minus I plus 1, so it cannot be k minus I. It can be at most k minus I minus 1. So the length of this element is strictly smaller than the length of k minus I. But then by the strong exchange property, this expression Si plus 1 and so on, Sk, can be obtained from Si plus 1 and so on, Sk by deleting one letter. Let's call it Sj. And now if we multiply with the prefix S1 and so on, Si minus 1, we get that W is equal to the original expression with Si and Sj deleted. This completes the proof. Now let us discuss some consequences. Corollary 1. Any expression of W contains a reduced expression as a subword. We start from any expression and we apply deletion property until we get a reduced subword. So that's easy. In order to formulate the second corollary, let's first define the following. If we have some expression S1, S2, and so on as k, then the set of simple reflections which appear in this expression will be called the support of this expression. Corollary 2. Two reduced expressions of the same element have equal supports. And terminology, of course, this common support is called the support of the element W, and we will denote it by sub of W. So for example, the support of a simple reflection is that reflection. Example 2, if we have a Coxeter group and two simple reflections S and T such that MST is equal to 3, then we have an element W which is equal to STS, it is also equal to TST. This is a reduced expression for this element, so this element has two reduced expressions, STS and TST, and the support of this element consists of S and T, because these are the letters which appear in the expression. For the support, multiplicities of the letters do not matter. So now let us prove corollary 2. Assume that we have two reduced expressions, S1, S2, and so on as k, and S1 prime, S2 prime, and so on as k prime. Assume that Sj is a letter in the first reduced expression and it does not appear in the second reduced expression. And assume that j is minimal possible. Consider the element tj, so we call it t, so it's the product S1, S2, and so on Sj, and then we go down Sj minus 1 and so on S1. Then, of course, the length of Tw is strictly smaller than the length of W, as we can see from the first reduced expression. But then this means that this element T has the form S1 prime and so on Si prime and so on S1 prime for some I by the strong exchange property. And now if we multiply on the left and on the right with S1 and so on Sj minus 1 and respectively Sj minus 1 and so on S1, we get that Sj is equal to Sj minus 1 and so on S1, then S1 prime and so on Si prime and so on S1 prime, and then S1 and so on Sj minus 1. By corollary 1, Sj must be a subword of the right-hand side, but this contradicts our choices. And this contradiction proves corollary 2. And here is another consequence, corollary 3. Let W, S be a Coxeter system, then S is a minimal set of generators for W. In other words, no proper subset of S generates W. Proof? So let S prime be a subset of S which is different from S. And let W prime be a subgroup of W generated by S prime. Then any element S which belongs to S but doesn't belong to S prime cannot belong to W prime by corollary 2. And this proves our claim. Some problems and questions at the end. Problem question 1. Determine TLW and TRW for all elements in S3. Problem question 2. Determine the left and right descent sets for all elements in S3 and S4. Problem question 3. Determine the left and right descent sets as well as the sets TLW and TRW for all elements in all finite dihedral groups. Problem question 4. Can two different expressions of some W have different supports? And problem question 5. Determine the support of the element which is given by the following expression: S2, S1, S3, S1, S2, S3, S2, S3, S2, and that's an element in the symmetric group S4. Thank you very much and see you next time.